Hey everybody, Eric from HelpCloud here. Today is a video about using motion lapse, time lapse, and hyperlapse on the DJI Osmo Pocket 2. Just the normal housekeeping, make sure to check out our store, buy some merch for us, help us stay in business, and also like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff that lets YouTube know that you like this video so that we can keep this channel going. Last thing is that if you decide you want this product, please click on our affiliate link in the description. It helps us make a commission and again helps keep our channel going. The objective of the video today is to show you on screen footage from each mode. I'll have that labeled, you'll see it like you have up to this point. Then I'll go over the difference between time-lapse, motion lapse, and hyperlapse and when to use them, as well as some additional tips. We'll go into my thoughts on hyperlapse as well as my thoughts on traditional time-lapse versus hyperlapse. And while I'm sharing my thoughts, you'll see footage from the same scene but differing modes, so you can make the judgment yourself which one you like better. And then at the end, I'll have my conclusions. So the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 has really great UX. DJI has made it really easy to find these different modes and to implement them. But in case you're wondering how to shoot these different modes, I'm going to link DJI's how-to video on this in the description. That is very simple and straightforward. So what is the difference between time-lapse, motion-lapse, and hyperlapse? Time-lapse is photography. It's a process of taking a series of still pictures and you put them together into a sped-up video, or rather the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 does that for you. Motion lapse, just like time lapse, has intervals and a duration of time that you set. And then the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 will bring the video together for you automatically. But with motion lapse, you see this panning and this movement like in the videos here. You set those points with your camera before you record. Hyperlapse is a little bit different. It takes video and allows you to adjust the speed. So first you pick the resolution on the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 and then the speed. And then you have a single streaming image moving as quickly or slowly as you'd like. So it's definitely similar to time-lapse, but there's a lot more stabilization. Hence why you get such a smoother video when you do hyperlapse versus time-lapse. And later in the video I have some great examples of filming the same scene but with time-lapse versus hyperlapse and what looks better, what looks smoother, and then that'll give you an idea when to use what. I have seen suggestions to use hyperlapse for straight scenes, but I would say that it's good for that, but also it's good for movement too. I definitely would take hyperlapse for any type of movement over time-lapse and motion lapse. That is to say, when your device is not fixed. For a fixed point, if you're putting your device on a tripod or something like that and you're just getting some scenery even though there's a lot of movement in it, I'm a huge fan of motion lapse. As you can tell, most of my videos are motion lapse. It's on a personal level. I like motion lapse the most because it fits the type of content I like to make. I like to go into the mountains in the winter or the summer, especially when storms and cloud cover is moving in, and just see that dynamic movement of a storm system moving through. But everybody's different and everybody has their own thing, so every mode is for somebody. Again, as a reminder for those that haven't seen my other videos, I do this from an amateur's perspective. I'm not a professional, but I do have some tips that might be helpful. First is get a tripod. Always bring a tripod when you're going to film in time-lapse modes. You can do it as small as a mini tripod. It's very tiny and it connects with the do-it-all handle or other handles that are available with the DJI Creator combo. See the link in the description for that one. Or the Osmo Pocket 2 can be configured with much larger and bulkier but steadier tripod setups. So the stability is paramount. It's very key in order to capture these smooth motion or any other type of time lapse. And the ability to walk away from the device is really key too. It's going to be recording minimum 10-20 minutes, probably 30, 40, 60, even longer, sometimes hours. The next piece of advice is to use the DJI Mimo app. So it's the app that connects with this device, especially in motion lapse mode. With motion lapse, setting the keyframes is much easier on the app, and you can set a more unique path much easier with the app. It also allows you to step back from the camera but control it while also observing the footage. The UX with this app is just much better than with the Osmo Pocket 2. The monitor on the Osmo Pocket 2 is only so big, so there's not much you can fit on it, but using the app makes everything easier. These next scenes are what hyperlapse looks like with motion. Rather than staying at a fixed point, what does hyperlapse look like when you're walking down a path, say for instance here in this video. I've been doing these videos from the average Joe perspective, kind of like an amateur, definitely an amateur with all this stuff. So I'm not a pro and I don't have that type of voice for this, but I can say that I think that hyperlapse is the way of the future for amateurs like myself. It's just super easy and super smooth, but again, there's a time and a place for time-lapse versus hyperlapse. But here in the next clips, what we're going to see is the same scene but in different modes, so judge for yourself which one you like better. Just a really brief conclusion today. Time-lapse, motion-lapse, and hyperlapse all have their time and place. I hope I helped you figure that out just a little bit more today. What I can say is that the DJI Osmo Pocket 2 makes it extraordinarily easy to make a time-lapse, motion-lapse, or hyperlapse. In the past, this was quite a bit of professional work in order to get something like this. So it's pretty awesome to put something this size in our pocket and go out, hike, and be able to sit down and let the device carry a beautiful motion lapse with barely any work done, quite frankly. So I love the time-lapse modes on DJI Osmo Pocket 2 and I hope they continue to improve.